kind of do this thing where we buy a ton of books, we read some of them, and then they just accumulate over the years. So now I want to see how many books I've actually read, what books I haven't read, and just go through them, because honestly, I've gotten to the point where I've kind of forgotten what books I have. And that's just terrible. But to be fair, I think it's because I just have too small of a bookshelf at this point. And now I have to like stack them 3 in a row. So I don't know what books are back there anymore. And that's why I haven't read them or I haven't looked at them and don't remember which ones I have anymore. So I feel like if we go through this now, it will refresh my mind, make me want to read some things, and also force me to buy the second bookshelf, because at this point, it's just getting ridiculous. This is my little bookshelf here. It also has like all my vitamins and things like that, because I'm a hypochondriac and I always think I'm dying. So I take like 9 vitamins every single day on top of a multivitamin. That's besides the point. Let's go through them. These books I've definitely read. This is Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I really enjoyed Fourth Wing last year. I did not like Iron Flame. I felt like it was rushed. It wasn't that good, but I did read them. Also, this is like part of the ACOTAR series. If you guys remember, I read the first book in the ACOTAR series. I thought it was just okay. It was almost boring in my opinion, but I also bought the rest of the series while I bought the first one. So I just thought that I was gonna love it, and then I just didn't. So I stopped reading it. But I did hear that the second book, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, is pretty good. So I want to get back to it. Actually, like and subscribe if you want me to do an ACOTAR vlog or series of vlogs. I feel like that could be really fun, because I do want to know what all the hype is. I see it all the time online. People make TikToks about it. People have like favorite characters and things like that. And I'm getting really bad FOMO. Like I want to be a part of it. But at this point, it's kind of like the same thing with Harry Potter. I'm so late that nobody's talking about it anymore, or everyone's already read it. So I don't know if it's worth it. Let me know in the comments below if I should, if it's worth it, because these are some thick books and I just don't know if I want to put that time investment in. But if you guys are saying it's good, then I will do it. I will do a vlog. So that's the ACOTAR series. Now I did read the Cruel Prince series. I liked that series. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't like my favorite fantasy series, just because we also did read Harry Potter and that has just blown everything else out of the water. But this was pretty good. I did enjoy this. Last on this row is Legendborn. I literally have 50 pages left in this book. It is so good. This is definitely going to be a 5-star. I'm reading this in my Patreon book club. If you want to join my Patreon book club, use the link down below. It is a fun time over there. We're literally going to finish this in the next few days, and then I'm going to do a live with them so that we can talk about the book, because we were giggling and cackling and just shook in this book. Like literally jaw on the floor shook. It was so good. I highly recommend this. Then up here is my shrine to Twilight. This is all the Twilight books minus Midnight Sun, which I keep in my bed. I've been reading Midnight Sun for like 3 years. Only because I've been reading like 10 or so pages every night before I go to bed. But recently, like within the last few months, I've just stopped reading it. I just go to bed tired, and it's because I haven't been following my nighttime routine. But I'm hoping that tomorrow, which is Monday for me, I get back on track and I start doing that again, because I do miss going to bed to Edward. Like Edward's thoughts and things like that. Like I was always an Edward fan, and I feel like that's going to be a really nice thing to just say goodbye to my day to. So I want to do that again. We just haven't gotten to it. Then up here, this is A Wrinkle in Time. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is The Song of Achilles. This book is one of the first books that I started reading once I got back into reading. And that was a 5-star. Amazing. I absolutely loved it. Then I have Peter Pan. Then I have Harry Potter in Spanish, because I eventually want to learn Spanish. And I got this from a thrift store, I think. And then The House in the Cerulean Sea. You guys know I love that book so much. And then this is Circe. I haven't gotten to it, but I'm hoping that at least next year we can read that, because I heard that's really good too. This is also like Greek mythology. And then up here, I have 7 books. You know these 7. This is my Harry Potter case. It is the best thing I've ever gotten. It was a gift. I read everything on Kindle Unlimited because they were all free, but I do have the physical copy, and they're so pretty. It's such a pretty copy. I'll link it down below in my Amazon storefront if you want this one, but I just love the series so much. It was so good. I can't believe I only heard about it or really like got into it this year, like 2024. That's kind of wild. Now we're gonna go over to our big bookshelf, and this is where we're gonna get scared because there's so many. They're like back to back too. Ugh. We're gonna move this little lady here. I cannot wait till we change my room so that we can have a proper place for her. I just don't think it's right to have her up here. You guys never see her in the videos. It's just terrible, but I promise you it's coming very soon. I know we've been talking about it all year, but I'm telling you, things are changing in my life. We're gonna do it soon, I promise. Also, I put my gym clothes up here in the morning because I have a loft bed. It's really nice to just pick up my gym clothes here from my bed, get dressed in bed, and then come down the stairs, because it's so cold coming down that I hate just being outside of my bed without having my clothes on. So I just get dressed in bed. So that's why these are up here. Anyway, oh God, I'm already scared. All right, rapid fire these. Okay, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. I have not read this yet. I did get this from a thrift store and I really want to read it soon. I heard it's absolutely beautiful. Big Swiss we got from Barnes from one of my favorite reps, Victoria. I haven't seen her in a very long time, by the way. I hope she's doing well. And then I have The Golden Finch. This is supposed to be really sad. This is by Donna Tartt. I haven't read it. This is one of the first books we got when we started doing bookstore vlogs. Malibu Rising we've read. Lord of the Flies we've read. Crying in H Mart, we read that last year. I really liked that. Firekeeper's Daughter, I have not read that, but I heard it's really good. It's about Native American history, and I think it's also like some type of mystery or thriller going on as well, and it's YA, so it sounds really good. I just need to get to it. Then we have Project Hail Mary. You guys know I love that book. The Sun and Her Flowers, this is supposed to be about poems, and someone told me it's terrible, so after that, I just didn't read it. I read If I Stay when I was younger and I really liked it. And then I realized I still have the copy, so that's why that's here. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. We read that last January. Insane. Same time next year. I think we read that this year. I can't remember. This year or last year. And then The Idiot. I haven't read The Idiot yet, but I heard it's really good. All right, that wasn't so bad. Put those bad boys back. Oh! Okay, y'all didn't hear that. Don't embarrass me. Oh! All right, on this side, we have Nothing to See Here. I got this because Jack Edwards did a review on it and said it was really good. He said it's a little outlandish, but there are like life lessons you can take from it. And I think that's also why I got this book, A Tale for the Time Being. I just haven't read it yet. I know it's really good though. Ruth Ozeki is supposed to be a really good author. I just haven't read any of her books yet. And then, oh my gosh, Satellite Love. I just got this because the cover was so pretty. I still stand by that decision. I just need to read it. Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance, haven't read that yet. An American Marriage, I haven't read that. Sense and Sensibility, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I read that in middle school. I remember liking it. Pride and Prejudice, The Art of War, A Christmas Carol, Fahrenheit 451, The Catcher in the Rye, and Frankenstein. So these are like my classics up here. A lot of these I haven't read, but I do want to eventually read them, and I feel like they're library necessities, and I want to create a library, so that's why I have those. All right, the first row is done. That wasn't so bad. I thought it was going to be worse, to be honest. Now we just have a billion more. So over here we have Never Let Me Go. This is by a Japanese author. I got this also because of Jack Edwards, and I really love the cover. Look at how pretty that is. Symptoms of Being Human. This is also one of the first books that I got when we started getting back into reading. I'm just like a floating head. I'm like that guy from The Proud Family, the basketball commenter, but I promise I'm up here. It's just an awkward angle here. Anyway, this is one of the first books that I got. Just haven't read it. I know it's about like this guy. I think he's discovering that he's gay and it's going through that process. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what it's about. Then I have Becoming Supernatural. This was recommended to me by one of my friends. She said this was really good. I just haven't gotten to it. I'm pretty sure most of these books I haven't read, so we're just gonna rapid fire them. Braiding Sweetgrass, 100 Years of Solitude. I really want to read 100 Years of Solitude. A Season for That. I think this was gifted to me. The Body Keeps the Score. I read halfway through it and it was very like traumatizing in a way that I know I need, so I just haven't gotten to it. We're gonna get to it eventually. Then this is A Molecule Away from Madness. It just sounds so fun. I got this from that big Barnes & Nobles in New York City. Then I have The Creative Act, and then these are some of my favorites. These are the two David Goggins books. I read the first one, didn't read the second one. I read this book. This is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Then I also have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Haven't read that yet. This is The Joy Luck Club. I absolutely love that book. We read that this year. This was one of my 6-star reads. It's so good. Still recommend it to this day. The Alchemist. Haven't read that. I actually heard it's not that good. Then I have Freakonomics. Haven't read that. And Parable of the Sower. So Joy Luck Club, Guncle, Dial A for Aunties, and Animal Farm. We've read all of these, and these are all really good actually. And then these guys. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is Amusing Ourselves to Death. Haven't read that. 12 Rules of Life. You Are a Badass. I have read that. That was pretty good. The Kite Runner. Haven't read that. This is a classic book. I read the one in English. I actually love this book so much that I want to get this book in every language that I learn. That's why I have it in Japanese. I just haven't read it in Japanese yet. And then this is Educated by Tara Westover. We read that last year. That was really good. This is a few plays by a Spanish author, Federico Lorca, and this was recommended to me by my sister's husband, and she said it was really good. And then also Earthlings is on here as well, which we read, and that was nuts. It's gotten so bad, y'all. Do you see this? I have books climbing up the wall. It is really terrible. We really need a bookshelf. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is all my literary fiction and some stragglers as well. So this is The Last Animal. This was recommended to me the last time I went to Barnes. They always recommend me books and I always get them because I actually think they have pretty good taste. I feel like if anyone's gonna know, it's the Barnes & Noble staff. So I have The Last Animal, haven't read that yet. I have The Martian by Andy Weir. I haven't read this, but he wrote Hail Mary, and y'all know how much I love this. And I know that this is a movie, so I want to read this and then watch the movie. And just look at how pretty the cover is. I love sci-fi. Hail Mary made me realize I love sci-fi. That is my jam, as much as literary fiction is my jam. So if you guys have any of those type of recommendations, please leave them in the comments, because I feel like I can go down a huge rabbit hole with that, and I think that would be a lot of fun. After that, I have The Little Bee. One of my friends recommended this to me. She said this book changed her life. Then we have 1984. I started this last year and didn't get around to it. Then I have The Sea of Tranquility and Life of Pi. I did watch the movie when I was a kid, and this movie changed my life. I don't know why. I just think that the scene where he was looking down at the sea and it was a complete mirror of the stars, that image, for whatever reason, stuck in my childhood brain. It made me feel like I can do anything in this world. So I had to get the book, and we got this from the thrift store, I believe, like last year. Then here we have Where the Moon Meets the Mountain. This is just such a pretty cover. That's the only reason why I got it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Terms and Conditions, we definitely read that. I thought that was okay. I read that last year. Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This was okay as well. Sing Unburied Sing. This is a book I read when I was younger. This was really good as well. Oh my gosh, Human Acts. We read this last year. It made me cry. This is so good. And the star of the show, the Beyonce of my bookshelves, Eleanor Oliphant, is completely fine. Mwah. I missed you, girl. Now this is where things get a little hairy. This was gifted to me by this like company that finds books from thrift stores and sends them out to people again and tries to like recycle books again. So they sent me this. Totally Erotica. So I mean, hey, this book was so good. I read this last year and it was like, wow, this was a really good book. This is written by a Korean author. I highly recommend it. It's amazing. It's about women and how we're treated in society. And it's shown through this woman who kind of goes crazy after having a child, and her husband doesn't necessarily believe her, and he just walked through her psychosis. It's almost like The Yellow Wallpaper, but like a different spin on it. It's very good though. Very, very good. I also read Girl already. I didn't really like this one, but I loved Black Cake. We read this last year. This also made me cry, I'm pretty sure. And then back here we have short stories in Japanese. Then I also have The Midnight Library. This was gifted to me from an event, and you guys know I didn't necessarily love it, but now that I'm looking back in hindsight, I don't hate it. I just thought it was cliche, and I saw the ending coming, and I think that rubbed me the wrong way, but it was actually a decent book. I think it would be a 3 stars if I could go back and change my rating, but we still have a copy of that even though we got rid of it last year. Ideally, in like an ideal world, I'll have a huge room just dedicated to my books, and they'll all be in like alphabetical order. I'll keep all the series together though, and I'd have really cute trinkets on my bookshelves. Oh, I want that so bad. One day. Oh, we have a hider back here. We have a straggler. We have Babel. We were supposed to read that, I think 2 months ago. We just didn't get to it. This is by TJ Klune. This is Under the Whispering Door. This is not the same as the House on the Cerulean Sea series. That book just came out, but that's not this. But I also heard that this was good. Then we have The Secret Diary of Hendrik Groen. 83 1/4 years old. I got this because the cover's so gosh darn cute. That's really the only reason, but I think it's gonna be good. Then I have The Great Gatsby. We did read that in like middle school. Then I have The Go-Giver here. I have Atonement. This was gifted to me as well. This was also a gift. Oh my gosh, this book needs to be read. It's actually criminal that I haven't read it yet. I keep saying I'm gonna read it, and I just never get to it. A Man Called Ove. The Brightside Running Club. This is about women who join a running club after being diagnosed with cancer. Highly suspicious and unfairly cute. I did read this. This is by Talia Hibbert. I didn't like it because it was very cliche, very gimmicky, and I felt like it wasn't really realistic, but it was okay, I guess. It was just okay. Oh God, this is my middle school yearbook. Gross. This is one of my favorite books of all time from my childhood. This is The Velveteen Rabbit, the original. This book makes me cry every single time I read it. I love it so much. And then also The Secret Life of Bees. This is a book I thrifted, and I watched the movie when I was younger, and the movie like really got to me, but I never read the book, and I wanted to read the book, so that's why I got it. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is one of my favorite rows. This is our romance row. It does have a little bit of organization to this whole madness. Not a lot, but enough to where You don't think I'm crazy, hopefully. This Could Be Us. We haven't read it. I really need to read it. It's really a shame. Shaughnessy keeps telling me to read this book and the first book, and I just haven't gotten to it. I'm sorry. I will. I promise I will. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. We read that. Didn't really like it. Nicola Yoon, The Sun Is Also a Star. I loved this book. I thought it was really good. Haven't read this one yet. This is Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Daisy Jones and the Six. I haven't read this. I know I need to read it because I really want to watch the show. But I know Taylor Jenkins Reid is that girl. I love her books. I just need to read that. The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. The one Lucy Score book I actually like. I read this last Christmas and I actually thought it was really good. The Holiday Switch is one of my favorite Christmas romances. It's YA. There's no spice, but it is so good. I really enjoyed this book. I honestly recommend this so much, especially with the Christmas season coming up. You need to read this. It is so good. It is like Hallmark, cheesy, adorable goodness. All the good feels. It's perfect. Love and Gelato I haven't read. Everything I read, and I devoured this. I literally read this in a day and I thought it was incredible. There's illustrations. I love Nicola Yoon. This is so good. You need to read it. One True Loves. Haven't read this. This is another TJR. Just haven't read it. Then I have Tokyo Dreaming. This is the second book to a series, and I think I have the first one too. This is In a Daze. This is a Christmas book by Christina Lauren. I haven't read this yet, but I feel like I still have the opportunity to this Christmas. One Day in December. We haven't read. Again, I do want to read that this December. Things We Never Got Over. Lucy Score. We did read this. This was atrocious. I'm only keeping it because I don't have a lot of blue books. This is The Christmas Clash. Hopefully I can read this year. This is by Suzanne Park. It sounds really adorable. I would love to read this. This is an Enemies to Lovers, but it's YA, so I think it's gonna be good. The Unhoneymooners. This was one of the first books I read again when we started getting back into books. That was okay. At first I thought it was much better than it actually was, but thinking back, it was just okay. Better than the movies. I actually loved this book. It was so cute. It was really adorable, honestly. I know the second book just came out, but I heard it's gonna break my heart, so I'm not reading it yet. Then I have The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Again, one of the first books I read. It was a lot. Instructions for Dancing. One of my least favorite Nicola Yoon books, but I did like it. The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I did read this. It was just okay. Honestly, the one book by them that is a 6-star read is Love in Other Words, and everything else was just okay for me. I'm hoping that we get another really good one soon. Today, Tonight, and Tomorrow. This is supposed to be another romance. I haven't gotten to it, but I really like the cover. How cute is that? Like, what? That is so cute. I need to read it. Then we have 7 Days in June. We read this. This was pretty good. The 7-Year Slip. I loved this book. This was so good. The audiobook is amazing. Amazing. So good. And then, of course, Love in Other Words. She's up there with Eleanor Oliphant. I just love this book. It's literal perfection. It does talk about grief a lot, but it's so worth it. It's such a good book. I really, really enjoyed this. The Yellow Wallpaper. You know I love this book. Couple Next Door. Loved this. This was so good. Verity. I thought it was good at the time, but looking back, it really wasn't. Salem's Lot. Absolutely loved this. A Certain Hunger. I love the cover. The cover is a 5-star. The book is really a 2. Tender is the Flesh. Haven't read it yet, but I've heard great things. You guys know I need to read this year. Don't let me go into 2025 without reading this. Please. I want to read this so bad. Coraline. I really liked this. A Discovery of Witches. I really hope I get to it, but if not, that's gonna suck. I really need to get to it though. If We Were Villains. We read this. I really like the cover that I have. It just was okay for me. It wasn't terrible though. Oh my gosh, I love this book. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. It's so good. The audiobook is perfect. It's so good. Please read this. Everyone Here Is Lying. It was just okay. This was one of our book club books. It was just alright. Finley Donovan Is Killing It. Again, just okay. I did read this. Haven't read this yet. Have read this. It was alright for me. Haven't read this, but I did read the first one and I really liked it. Everyone told me to continue reading it because things get unhinged, but I haven't read it yet. Then we have some stragglers back here. The Vegetarian. I haven't read this yet. I just got this because the cover is so gosh darn cute, but I got this from a thrift store. I haven't read this. Also got this from a thrift store. These are books that I haven't heard much about at all online, but I got them because they have really cute covers. And then we have Misery, which we read. That was insane. And then I started Good Omens. I started the audiobook and I just didn't finish it for some reason. I wonder what happened. I don't even remember. We gotta get back to that. That's weird. The Candy House is supposed to be like the Black Mirror episodes. Haven't read this, but I do want to read it very soon. They're Vicious Games. This is a YA mystery. We read The Silent Patient. This was so good. I love that book. It's a psychological thriller. Then we have my first Dostoevsky book. It's Crime and Punishment. I really want to read this. I started it, but it was so like intense and I really want to pay attention and focus, and I just wasn't there mentally, so we do need to get back to that. It's definitely not going to be this year though. Big Little Lies. Haven't read this. Killers of a Certain Age. I love this cover, still haven't read it. They gave me 2 copies of this book, so that's why we have this here. I'm gonna get rid of one of them. I'm just gonna donate it. But yeah, we have 2 of those for some reason. Rebecca, I really need to read this. It's Criminal. This is another one where I should have read it and I didn't. And then this is a bunch of Sherlock Holmes books, and I just got it because it's literally stunning. I feel like it's so perfect. All right, rapid fire, people. Hold on, let me move you closer. Don't be shy. Okay. Here we have Not in Love. We read this. We read When in Rome. Have not read this yet. A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. She's the same person who wrote, this angle is so crazy. She's the same person who wrote The 7-Year Slip, but I actually heard this is terrible. Oh, this is the second book I was talking about, The Tokyo Ever After. This is the second or the first one. The Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. I haven't read this. The Do-Over. I haven't read this. I haven't read this. Never Lie. I did read this, I think, and I didn't like it. Lady Tan's Circle of Women. No. Poppy War. Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so hard, but so good. Under the Surface. I haven't read this. The Rabbit Hutch. I really need to read this, and I haven't read it. The Theory of Not Quite Everything. I have not read this, but it sounds good. Before I Let Go, this is the other Kennedy Ryan book I wanted to read. I think this is the first book in that series. Everything We Never Had. I need to read that. This is Magnolia Parks. I'm hoping to read that this year. Funny story, my literal 6-star read, my first book by Emily Henry that I liked so freaking good. Kiss Her Once for Me. Haven't read this. This is supposed to be like a really cute Christmas book, I think. Yeah, it's a Christmas book. Believe me. How you doing back there, by the way? How's your day going? This is so crazy, I know. We've never been this close before. We're gonna keep this party going. So this is the Inheritance Games. I only have the first book, haven't read it. This is Queenie, again, haven't read it. We did read Assistant to the Villain. We haven't read Masters of Death, The Wren in the Holly Library, or any of these actually. So this is 28 Summers by Aline Hildebrand. This is my first book by her. I heard she's a really good romance author. This is The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I think I thrifted this. The Last Thing He Told Me, haven't read this. This was gifted again. And then up here, these are all gifted, and these 2 are my recent buys. These are the ones that we got from Target. So What Feasts at Night, this is the second book to What Moves the Dead. And then this is a Sarah Adams book that is a standalone. I am tired, y'all. Oh my gosh, I even have my November TBR down here. I completely forgot. Yeah, these are all the books that our board game picked for us for the month of November. The Neighbor Favor, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, Six of Crows Finally. I bought the second book in the Six of Crows series because everyone told me to read it and I want to do a vlog for it. I haven't gotten spoiled, thank God, because I'm not really like on BookTok or Bookstagram. I try to avoid the books that I really want to read, so I haven't gotten spoiled for those. And then I have A Dark and Drowning Tide. This is so beautiful. I really just want to read it because the cover is so stunning. It's like one of the prettiest covers I've ever owned. Then we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. We will be reading that this month. I really want to read this. And Lessons in Chemistry. Now to the TBR cart. Oh God, this was a mistake. Oh yeah, these are books from TBR Pass. So this was less. We were supposed to read this, I believe, in August. Didn't read it. This is Beartown. We were supposed to read this. Didn't. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We did read this a while ago. I was actually letting my niece read this. She really likes it so far. Strange Sally Diamond. I have read this. This is incredible, but really hard to read. And Hexed Was Sent to Me. Haven't read this. Don't really know what it's about, actually. Then on this side, we have Mrs. Dalloway. I think these are all the books we read in the 7 Books in 7 Days challenge. So Mrs. Dalloway, Shop Girl, This Is How You Lose Time More, What Moves the Dead, Tuesdays with Maury, love this book. The Ocean at the End of the Lane, Carmilla, The Mountain Moves You. I started reading this and this book is literally incredible. I know that this book is a 6-star and I know it's going to change my life and I know it's going to be a book I read every single year. I'm almost done with it, but wow, it's incredible. The audiobook is really good too. I just need to finish this. And then this was a book that was sent to me 24 seconds from now. Haven't read this. So this is A Promised Land by President Barack Obama. I haven't read this, but I did read Michelle Obama's books. So good, incredible. This is Just Us. I'm pretty sure this was sent to me. I don't really know what that's about. Same with Lost and Found, and Really Good Actually is a book that I got from Barnes. I just loved it for the cover. The cover is so pretty. I'll put it here, but I haven't read it, so I need to. This is Born Confused. This was sent to me. Black Book. This is a book that Shaughnessy brought me, I believe, for my birthday. Then this is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I did read this. This is pretty good. This is Yoke by by somebody. I can't see. Last name's Choi though. Carrie Soto is Back by TJR. Haven't read this. Heard it was really good. Remarkably Bright Creatures. I did read this. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite. It's about a conscious octopus, so there's that. If He Had Been With Me, I haven't read it, but I do like the cover. I'm pretty sure it's gonna make me cry, so that's why I haven't read it. This Is Fast. I started it, but it was really hard to read. It's a romance book, but this girl has gone through a lot. That's why I stopped reading it. I meant to continue, but I haven't, and I will continue, so it's not technically DNF'd. I just need to be in the right mind frame to read that, and I'm just not currently. Then down here we have Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. That was incredible. I read this. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Another Donna Tartt. Haven't read this yet. The Glass Castle. I haven't read this. I'm pretty sure it's considered like a modern day classic, so I want to read it. I just haven't gotten to it. The Picture of Dorian Gray. I think I read this in high school. My Policeman. I need to read this. I need to, because I want to watch the Harry Styles movie. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. I know this is really good. One of my favorite Barnes & Noble reps. When she was just explaining the book synopsis to me, she started tearing up. So that's how I know it's going to be good. This is a Murakami book. This is Norwegian Wood, I'm pretty sure. The Bell Jar. This is a classic by Sylvia Plath. I think this is also a sad book, so I kind of avoid sad books because life's already hard, but I need to read them because they make you more empathetic and knowledgeable. Ask Again, Yes. I know this is good. I just need to read it. We Are the Lucky Ones. I think I thrifted this. Okay. This is an Octavia Butler. The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I need to read this, but it's going to destroy me. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Another classic. This is A December to Remember. This is Swans of Harlem. This is a book that was sent to me. It has a really cool, interesting story. It's a nonfiction about black ballerinas in New York City, like making their mark and breaking historical walls. And it just sounds really good. Again, I just need to find the time to read it. Oh, this is my copy of The Little Prince in English. Definitely read this. Love this. The Quiet Damage. Haven't read this. I'm pretty sure this was sent to me. Black Shield Maiden was sent to me. We did read Powerless. I just thought it was okay. It's literally word for word Hunger Games, so that's sad. These two were sent to me as well. Down here we have the Final Girl Support Group. Oh god, this was not good at all. This is Red String Theory. This is supposed to be a romance, and I heard it was really good. Shaughnessy told me to get this, so that's why I bought it. Talking at the Night. I also got this. I got this just for the cover. This is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. It's just so beautiful. Look at that. Then I have National Dish. So this is about an author who goes to different places around the world and does a little bit of history, does a little bit of digging about different countries and their cultural foods and things like that. It just sounds really cool and very interesting, so that's why I have this. Then I also have Last Chance Books. I think I got this just because it was a Barnes & Noble buy one get one 50% off, and why not? It also has a very cute cover. The Woman in the Window. I really want to read this. This is supposed to be a really good thriller. Alice Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors. Everyone says this is a good thriller. I just need to get to it at this point. I got this solely because of the cover. It's Radio Silence by Alice Osman. And last but not least, we have Ready Player One. This is our last book. Wow, we did so much today. I did so much talking. Are you tired of me yapping? Because I'm tired of yapping. So we have a ton of books to still read. Like, I've put a pretty big dent into these books, but not big enough apparently. Let me know if there were any books that you feel like I need to read expeditiously. Also, continue to like and subscribe, pretty please, as well as following me on Instagram. I'm pretty much on there every single day at this point, as well as TikTok and things like that. So I love you guys. I'll see you guys very soon. I'm gonna go drink some water. Bye.